right, good morning, and in case you're just joining us, you're in time for the health and lifestyle segment. Today we'll be doing two great conversations. The first one, we're going to be focusing on cancer, especially cancer that affects the young people, the children between the ages of 0 to 19. According to data that you're receiving is that approximately 400,000 children worldwide develop cancer, and this is actually something that has affected so many of them. The most common cancers include leukemia, brain tumors, and the likes. I have with me an expert who will bring these numbers closer home and tell us about the impact of cancer among children in the country, what sort of interventions we need in our health systems to be able to assist children and generally cancer patients in the country. And the institution he represents has done an amazing work in just helping cancer patients to really navigate through this very difficult journey. I'm talking about none other than David Makumi. He is the CEO of Faraja Cancer Support Trust. Karibu sana.
Asante. Thank you for having me here.
I see you already donned in the T-shirt and preparing for the big weekend.
Yes.
A great activity that will be taking place this Saturday.
Right.
And we are going to be telling our viewers how they can be part of what I call impact in making life bearable for patients of cancer in the country. But first of all, Karibu.
Asante. I'm actually in gold because September is actually the golden month. It's a month that we remember or create awareness about childhood cancer. So it's a global movement where September is dedicated to creating awareness, and the color for childhood cancer is gold. And that's why we are bold and encouraging everyone to get really bold for children. And that's what we're going to be doing on Saturday, this Saturday 14th, walking not only to raise funds, but also to create awareness because childhood cancer is real. The data you cited from the global picture, 400,000 children worldwide, but locally here in this country, the estimates we have is 3,000 children annually. And to put it into perspective, that's around, a child is diagnosed with cancer every 3 hours.
Every 3 hours?
Every 3 hours.
That's a
there will be a child. That's a big concern. And we actually suspect that there are many other children out there who probably don't get even a diagnosis. Maybe they die or get really sick without really figuring that it was actually cancer. So it's a major, major concern, and it's important that we put word out there. First, children are not small adults, just like babies are not small children. Babies are babies, they are not small children, and children are not small adults. So they have their own unique cancers and presentations, maybe slightly different from those in adults. You may get leukemias in adults and also leukemias in children. But the difference is in children, the outcomes are actually very good. Kids treated for cancer, diagnosed early, adequately treated, they have very, very good outcomes. Up to 90% will actually get very, very positive cure rates and grow up to be
useful.
It
is detected at an early stage.
Detected early and treated. Very, very important to start prompt treatment and complete it. And that's where Faraja comes in, because many patients are unable to start treatment because cancer treatment is expensive. They are unable to even complete treatment. And we run a childhood cancer program to enable patients of course, those who are not unable to complete treatment financially, we support them so that they complete the treatment.
All right. Yeah. Sorry to cut you short. We will talk about some of the interventions that have been put in place, but I just want to take you back quick on the numbers, something that actually really stood out for me when I was looking at the statistics. It is projected that by 2050, Africa is going to be holding like almost 50% of the childhood cancer burden.
Correct.
I want us to look at our health systems and the challenges that you think we are facing as a continent, and to be specific, Kenya, that will make us so vulnerable to, having such a heavy burden of cancer in the near future if something is not done. What are some of the weak links or gaps you have observed?
Yeah, and it's not just in childhood cancer. If you even bring it closer, by 2030, 2028, even for adults, we expect overall in this country, we'll be looking at about 58,000 new cancer cases. Right now, there are 44,000, all inclusive. new cancer cases annually or inclusive. And it's important because we have these projections. As a country, we need to strengthen our health systems because our referral systems are still wanting. And one of the interventions that have happened to ensure that kids get prompt treatment is actually if children are suspected of having cancer in a low-level health facility, health center, maybe sub-county hospital level 1, they need to be referred directly to the national referral hospitals like Kenyatta or MTRH and bypass all these other levels so that there is no time wasted with healthcare bureaucracy, going from one level to another. For children, time is precious. They need to be referred directly to a specialist center. So that way we are able to save a lot more. But it's also important that we strengthen our health systems ahead of these big numbers that the projections are giving us in terms of human resources, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of technology, even updating technology, even for diagnosis, to ensure that some of these diagnostics can be done much earlier at much lower level. But also importantly is also to create awareness in the population that what should they look out for. Childhood cancer, for example, you cannot screen. The way we tell people, you need to go for cancer screening for breast, prostate. Yeah. We don't have that for children. We don't have screening modalities. The most important thing is to catch it early. And that is where the role of parents, of the community is important. If you see something unusual in a child, don't take it for granted. A child is staggering who was not staggering. A child has a swelling that is not going away. A child has unusual fevers and is being treated for malaria over and over. We need to say, put a red flag. Yeah. Why is this malaria every week? Something is, a child has swollen lymph nodes, what they call ngaes on the armpits or on the neck. That's a red flag. We need to get that child checked out in a specialist center. And if it's not cancer, it's okay. If it is cancer, get treated aggressively. That child has a realistic chance of cure, growing up to be an important citizen. We need to save many more lives. In North America, their cure rates are up to 90%, of childhood. Here we are looking at just about 30%, 20%. Yeah. Those are numbers that are low.
That's not good. That means in every 10 children who have cancer, about 3 or 2
will survive.
Yeah. The rest, we may just lose them.
That's the narrative we need to change, and that's why we're actually having this walk.
All right.
For the 3rd year running.
Before the walk, take us through Faraja Cancer Support Center. You actively operate in Uasin Gishu and Nairobi.
Yes.
Let us understand about this institution and what was the drive and motivation to get into this space of cancer. What have you done so far?
Faraja Cancer Support Trust was founded 14 years ago. And it was founded on the ethos and a mission to provide holistic, practical, emotional support to patients undergoing cancer treatment. Cancer treatment, of course, constitutes of surgery, chemo, and radiotherapy. But there's a very big component, psychosocial element, that is critical as part of treatment to take care of the patient's, psychosocial and mental health issues. There are also the family around, caregivers that need to be supported. So Faraja Cancer Support Trust, our mission is to provide that holistic, complete care to the patients who are going through treatment or going through cancer. We accompany them and support them either through support groups. We have 10 groups in Nairobi, 6 in Eldoret, people with different cancers, whether it's breast, prostate, stomach cancers, etc., blood cancers. So we bring them together to help them navigate the cancer journey so that those who are about to give up, maybe give up on treatment, give up on life, they'll see other people who have survived like 20 years, 27, and get encouraged, and they'll go for their next chemo. And importantly, sending a message out there. There are cancer survivors who are surviving cancer in this country, treated here. They don't even have to go to India. They are being treated here and surviving. We also provide therapies. Patients can come to Faraja, see a psychologist. We don't charge for that. See a dietitian. We don't charge for that. We provide other complementary therapies like even yoga, relaxation and breathing, things that would help patients, cope better. We even have aerobics. How cool is that? And Zumba for cancer survivors. Things that will promote their overall well-being. But also we have a fund that supports those, we support those who cannot pay for their treatment, either to start or even to complete. We wish we could help every person who comes to us. Our funds are limited. That's why we are doing this fundraiser to enable to pay for children, to pay for adults, to complete their therapies. Right. Another important thing that we do is called Craft for Cure. And this is a childhood cancer program, an exciting program, because many patients, children who are admitted may be in hospital for like 4 months, even 6 months. That is a long time for a child. It's almost a stolen childhood.
We are confined in a room for 4 months.
For 4 months. It's almost a stolen childhood. So what Faraja does, and we have been doing that the last 6 years, we provide art, music and craft therapy and diversional therapy. So every Friday and every Monday, our staff actually go to Kenyatta National Hospital, spend time with those kids, painting, Manila, and people are welcome to support that or even join us if you're an artist out there.
Yeah, all right. And I like what you're saying, because this then brings life and sort of like some warmth into this very difficult season. There's also something you're doing when it comes to supporting the children in terms of their nutritional value.
Yes.
There's the distribution of
apples and milk, you see.
Yeah? Just talk to us a bit about the specifics that you have done for especially the children who are battling cancer. Yeah.
Again, the program every Friday, and we wish we could do that every day. We'll go and give milk, a packet of milk and an apple every single Friday without fail. As I said, we wish we could do it every day, but I mean, of course, as we grow and get maybe a bigger financial base, we'll be able to do that. But importantly, apart from the nutritional value, some of these kids come from very far. They are there without their parents. So a child is here, let's say in Kenyatta, but they come from Namanga. They're not going to get visitors. The visitor they will get is from Faraja, and they look forward to just, getting that apple, just the way you visit a patient in hospital with something. So there's a child waiting on Friday. Someone on Friday from Faraja will actually do this. So just making the children, even as they go treatment, get them to be children again. Enjoy their childhood as much as possible, but also help them cope with the invasiveness of the treatment. Cancer treatment is really harsh, even for an adult. So you can imagine for children. So helping them understand even the various therapies that happen. We do a lot of role play, help them understand, when the doctor is listening to your chest, what is he listening to? Make it a fun activity. So they're also participants. Children need to be participants in their care. But the other piece that is important around the children, it's not just the children, it's the family. We have a parents support group. The kids may not even know how seriously sick they are. Some are 3 years or 4 years. They may not understand what's going on. So you can imagine the mental stress.
It's on the parent or the caregiver.
The caregiver.
Yeah.
And we run a support group for them because mentally, they need to be able to be mentally well, to be able to also support their children.
I like the holistic approach of your interventions. It's not just what ordinarily would have been done to give them money to seek treatment. It's actually looking at the whole environment, including the family, and even their nutritional value.
Correct.
All this you're doing with the what support system. Let's talk about where,
How do we manage to do this?
Yes.
Even sometimes.
And whether it's for free. Somebody would be asking, is it for free? And where do you get your support system?
It's actually, I can just say it right here on national TV that our services are actually free of charge. We don't charge, even with all the support, that financial support, of the last 6 or so years. We've used almost like 60 million supporting close to 1,000 patients financially, and all these other programs we don't charge. And we work with many volunteers, ordinary Kenyans, men and women and corporates who support our programs. We invite everyone to be part of what we are doing. We have fundraising events, 2 big fundraising events. One is that one coming this Saturday for childhood cancer. So we need to get everybody there, all the boots on the ground to work, because we need to make as many children as possible celebrate their next birthday during this work. So we do a lot of fundraising. We also work with all the therapists that we have, provide us a lot of pro bono services. So you'll have an expert artist or a psychologist or a dietitian. Since they're not charging us, we don't charge the patients. So we still have lots of good people out here willing, and we are inviting many more to be part of what we are doing. You don't even have to be a clinician or a medic or a doctor. You could even be a graphic designer who can design funny pictures for the kids. That is also something one can contribute.
So you can give in terms of finance, and you can also give in kind. In
kind, you can give your time, but importantly, come and walk to show solidarity on the 14th, this Saturday, Muguga Carol Grounds, just the next exit after Sigona Golf Club. We will have the walk. You can actually come and walk because, again, solidarity is important. Obviously, we invite, cash donations, in-kind donations, but also coming together as a people, as a community, get us thousands of people there just for the children, nothing else. You're actually coming to say, I stand with the children. I want as many children as possible to survive cancer and live to tell their story and become, important, contribute to our economy, become journalists, and do stuff.
I like the boldness of the naming of this whole event. Be bold, go bold. This is the drive. Is it the third year or the fourth?
This is the third.
Tell us a bit about the history of the genesis of this funds drive, and what are some of the possible outcomes you have experienced, and what is it that you target to achieve this time around?
Yes, thank you. The first run actually happened in Karura. In the Karura forest, that the very first 3 years ago. I had about 1,000 participants, which was a great success, because for us, coming out and being part of this support is very critical, but importantly also creating awareness. So last year, we had it in Karo, because Karura could not take more than 1,000 participants, and last year we had 2,000 participants. 70% were actually school-going children. We had corporates, we have families, and last year we raised 8 million, which enabled us, expand the scope and the reach of the kids that we touch. We actually were able to support additional 25 children, complete or start their treatment this past year. And with the support of every Kenyan out there who needs to come, we believe this year we could cross the 10 million mark in terms of what we would want to raise, and be able not just support children in Moi Teaching or in Kenyatta or in other hospitals that we partner with, but even establish Faraja centers in the counties. You said you are Shingishu and Nairobi. We'd want to be in Mombasa. We'd want, in all the counties where cancer treatment is being offered, so that patients are closer to us, so we can be much more impactful with everyone, coming to do this and doing it boldly. Just because it's for the children, it's not something we should do, like in a subtle way. That's why we are really bold.
Go bold, be bold.
We need to be really bold.
Actually, I like that the theme, let me call it that. Let's choose to look at this 10 million not as money, but as lives that you can actually impact or change, And going for this particular walk is actually your own way of, being part of history and saying that I impacted a life through Faraja to be able to save the lives of children. Let's talk about, the pressing needs if you look at the challenges these children are facing, their families are facing, or even as an institution, the gaps you're seeing in doing what you're doing, what are the current pressing needs, so that in case somebody is watching and they would like to come in and partner with you in one way or the other, what are some of the things you'd like them to do? Yeah,
when you look at the management or treatment of childhood cancer, a typical child with cancer, the pressing needs, there are quite many, but if one can look at them even from maybe a health systems or even for financial, the financial aspect. But finances are always a huge problem to enable kids complete treatment or even start treatment. There are kids who will need accommodation, like they may have the money for treatment, but they're coming from out of town, let's say from Namanga, and they need to be here for radiotherapy. That's a huge problem within the cancer treatment ecosystem, accommodation for these kids. Support systems to enable them, carry through. For us, even the work that we do, we sometimes think, are we going to have milk and apples in January to support? Are we missing other kids who are out there? Public education and awareness. We need to develop even information and education material to create awareness out in the public. Information in local languages that people can relate with. So there are all these things around a child. And also support systems for their parents. As I said, don't think just about the child, also think about the parents and how you enable them. But another piece is also integrating those kids back to the community after they complete their treatment. The issues of stigma. Will schools accept them? Schools may say, that child had cancer, we are not sure we can have them back, we don't know how to handle. So all these are issues that we need to address as a country so that kids are integrated. All right. And guess what? These are some of the discussions that will be shaping the event on Saturday, which is also meant not just to raise funds, but to create awareness. You will get to learn about even the most common type of cancers that affect children during that particular event. You can also just go there to not only support a cause, you will enjoy the scenic venue there just to get to relax and unwind. You can be able to also take your family there, just your children. There will be bouncing castle. There will be everything that is going to entertain children this Saturday. Live event. There will be medals for those who are going to be participating, free parking if you're worried about that. I'm just looking at the bag of goodies that you can be able to enjoy this coming Saturday, and I'm already excited. As we wind up this conversation, please talk to us about the schedule, the timings, the type of runs. Maybe somebody says, I'm not physically fit, I'm a bit scared. I mean, what are the options? When will it start? When will it end? Just for somebody who wants to know practically on the ground how things will look like. So if you haven't registered, you need to log into Faraja Cancer Support Trust.org. And register there. We're starting the 21-kilometer walk is starting about 6:30 in the morning, so you need to be there. I'm sure there are people who want to do a half a marathon. You can come and do an easy 21-kilometer walk. The 10-kilometer is going to start about 7 a.m. 10-kilometer is midway, so I'm sure there are people who can come and walk or run, or run and walk, or do both, and we have a 5-kilometer race, walk, which starts about 8 a.m., but we urge everyone to be there by 7 so that we can all warm up, we can all start together, show solidarity. So a 5-kilometer easy family walk, and importantly, you're walking in a forest. How cool is that? Really... How therapeutic. It's very, very therapeutic. From the busy city. And I must say this event, this third edition, we are so privileged and really honored. We will be having the greatest of all time, Eliud Kipchoge himself, live in person, also coming to stand with us, not just endorsing, but his confirmed participation. So he's going to be there just to show that all of us, it takes all of us to address childhood cancer issues. So it's important that we get there. We need to change lives,
All right.
save lives, and come and run with the champion himself.
Thank you so much, David Makumi, the CEO of Faraja Cancer Support Trust. Of course, Royal Media Services will be partnering in this event that is set to sort of just create an impact in the lives of cancer patients, especially children in our country. So something to look forward to. If you didn't have weekend plans, so there we go. We have just given you something to do with your family and friends this particular weekend. And we want to wrap it up there. Of course, more details you can get on their website. And we just want to shift gears a little bit. We are going to be discussing the issue I told you about in the morning, fertility, and a lot that has been done in terms of just helping families out there, couples who are trying for a child. It has been an issue that has caused stigma in many families. So many people have spent a lot of time and money and even gone into depression because of this journey of trying to have a child. I'll be having experts in studio who are going to be telling us about things and how the world is revolving and how it is possible for you to be able to have a child and even choose on how you can balance out your family. That's the world we live in today. So do stand by for that conversation. It's coming up shortly.